from Kitchen Table Media. We just got back. Oh my gosh, there's lots of wind. Sorry, guys. We just got back from walking at the park, and we're kind of heading towards home-ish. But just wanted to kind of stop by and do a little walk and talk, and to show you a little bit of our neighborhood. So this painting. So in our neighborhood, it's moderately trendy. They've been trying to revitalize the area, and they've been bringing in artists as part of this group called Powwow Hawaii to basically beautify, the building facades here in the area and make it look a little less industrial and a lot more inviting. So this is my husband's favorite, just the art detail. So just walking through, and this one's kind of funny, right? Everybody knows the Dr. Seuss green eggs and ham, but here in Hawaii, we are spam aficionados, to say the least. Hi, yep, sorry, phone technology stinks, especially with me. So, green eggs and ham from Dr. Seuss. We in Hawaii love spam, so the artist's rendering is actually green eggs and spam, which is pretty cool. So you'll see a lot of folks taking pictures and stuff. We do get a lot of tourists who come into the area who do want to kind of check things out and stuff like that. And then so here, and this one is based on Tokidoki. So I don't know if anybody knows of that kind of anime style. But it's really pretty. It's beautiful. So we're gonna find a spot. It's kind of cool. It's like all kinds of little fun different characters, right? Okay, and this is actually a driveway and an alley. So we're gonna come through here because it's a nice place to kind of sit down for a little bit. This is where some artists show and things like that, and this is letting us know tonight there's gonna be an artist show. Anyway, so let's talk story a little bit about the news. So Kitchen Table Media, what are we about? Kitchen Table Media is basically, the tagline is real news by real people, right? We don't necessarily want to provide that huge polished look. We do want to be able to provide things that, do look decent, but we will just focus on getting the information out to people, because the current media situation, there's been a great disservice to viewers and those who consume media, right? They don't necessarily tell us the whole truth anymore. They don't arm us with the knowledge of what's going on in our world so we can make sound decisions. Mainstream media tends to tell us what they want us to think. And this isn't, necessarily crazy ramblings from some chick on YouTube. I used to work in television. I worked in television for about 18 years. And there is, whether it's intentional or not, I know with our little station, I'm still kind of unsure. Some things were intentional, some not so much. But there is a lot of gatekeeping of information, right? They don't necessarily share everything to everyone because, number one, you have the time constraint, but also too, and I'm not making an excuse here, but it is a factor which we have to think of large scale wise for all television stations, that their advertisers call the shots. That's the reason why the lights are on. So some folks, some stations, willingly and eagerly abide by their advertisers, and some don't. So with Kitchen Table Media, we are basically just a small little startup, um, basically just providing national news right now to folks, and with links that you can follow through on, so you can actually do the research yourself and to kind of see that, and make up your own mind, rather. Sorry. We don't want to tell you what to think. That's the whole point of this endeavor. It's just to be able to kind of get back to that space of where media provided you a lot of different um, pieces of information, so you could then act upon that. So anyway, so this is Sharky. I kind of like this one. So we're going to come back through this way, and hopefully the hordes have gone, and we'll talk a little bit about news. So today there are a lot of things popping. Today's a very, very busy news day, and we'll just kind of keep walking down this way. Very, very busy news day. Well, the first big news was that in Dallas, a man rammed his truck into a television news station. The side of the building there. He, was unhappy and decided that was a good idea, and clearly is not. That is never a good idea. But anyway, so long story short, Dallas gentleman decided to ram his car into the facade of the newspaper, the Fox affiliate there, and they did wind up apprehending the gentleman moderately without incident, but there was a lot of ranting and raving about, oh gosh, a previous case, and I haven't done a lot of research into that yet, a previous case from 2012. He had some beefs with that. He also brought in like 2 boxes of papers, and the paperwork just kind of had these wild scribblings on them. So taking a look at this gent, he clearly was not of sound mind when he did what he did. Whether he's just wigging out on drugs or, or something else a little more nefarious, it'll be remain seen, right? So, let's see. So the other news today also was that 147 passengers were evacuated out of an airplane, and the airplane had come from Algeria to France, and the the reason why is due to cholera. They had feared a cholera outbreak. So in Algeria, I'm not sure if you have heard, but there has just been a huge rise of cholera cases, and people have been dying from the disease. So there's been a little bit of caution there. Also rather interesting today as well, again, involving an airplane flight from Dubai to New York. There was a report of about 100 passengers had felt sick and ill. So they immediately kind of quarantined the plane, did not let anybody get off of it. And so we're still kind of following that story. It is really interesting considering 2 stories same day. Probably just a wild coinky-dink, but I'm not necessarily a wholehearted believer in coincidences. Anyway, so without sounding a little too crazy. And then also, we're gonna quickly cross the street because we're walking. And we'll get to a little bit more of a shady area for the girls because it is rather sunny today. Yep, there's Wiggles leading the dog. Okay. Let's see. So let's kind of spin back around this way. So this is part of the area that they kind of like to hang out in. The park is further down that way. And here, we'll just kind of cruise this way so you can kind of see what's going on. Let's go. Okay. So yeah, this is Kaka'ako. If anybody is in Hawaii, or if anybody is going to be visiting Hawaii. Okay, so another huge, big story. Wiggles just wants to go up and down all the stairs because there are stairs here and there. Sorry, and we're going slow because people are getting educated. So we have a lot of folks who visit the area. It is rather trendy. So other big news today, right? Jack Dorsey is in front of the House Intel Committee today. That was rather interesting. Okay, so I'm just going to say it, and some people are going to hate me for it. Okay, so you remember yesterday with Kavanaugh's hearing, and there were people shouting and screaming and acting like hooligans, right, in the audience. And that, I think that's really disrespectful to the entire hearing and to the entire process, right? The time to protest is outside of it, before, during, after, but outside, right? You let proceedings happen. Well, today, a similar situation happened, but I'm noticing some people are applauding it, and the people who are applauding it are some conservatives. And they're the same conservatives who condemned what happened at the Kavanaugh hearing. So what happened at Dorsey's hearing today, which is making tremendous news, is Laura Loomer stood up and in her very signature style shouted at Jack Dorsey. And, what she did say is thoroughly, thoroughly valid, right? We've all known folks who have had Twitter accounts shadow banned. We've also been shadow banned as well, or not us, not me particularly, because seriously, I've got a handful of followers, but we know friends who have been, and so it's a very real thing. But my kind of wince today was that, oh man, this is the same thing that we had railed against with sorry, the dogs are getting tangled. Hey, what are you doing? Sorry, we're going to walk this way. But this is the same thing that we railed against yesterday, right? We railed against it yesterday when we said that, shame, 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 you shouldn't be shouting in a hearing. But yet when somebody we like does it, we're like, oh, hey, it's okay, cool, well done, good on you. And no, that's called a double standard, my friends. And we can't have those. Or we can, but just, be cognizant of them. So here's the thing. While I thoroughly agree with what Laura Loomer did today, right? I thoroughly agree with what she said today within the Jack Dorsey hearing. I thoroughly agree with what she said, that this is BS, that Dorsey needs to get his stuff together. What about the shadow banning? What about the banning of very large conservative voices? You're shaping what's going on in the midterm elections, and all of that jazz. But I do not think that she should have done it right there. And that's my opinion, because we saw what that was like yesterday at the Kavanaugh hearing, and we didn't like it, right? We didn't like it when it was our guy. So I think that if we didn't like it when it was our guy, when it's not our guy, we should also not dig that behavior. But I do understand her tactics, and she is very good at exposing information, and she's very good at gonzo journalism. And she does her research. She's spot on with her stuff. I just think today, on the heels of the Kavanaugh, what happened at the Kavanaugh hearing, I just think it was just, she should have dialed it down just a little bit. Or she should have done some of that action outside the hearing, right? Outside of the hearing. Then I think that would have been, for me, that would have been a lot easier to support, you know, because yes, Twitter has been shadow banning, and yes, they've been, pulling all these shenanigans. Um, Sorry, there we go. Well, something pretty. So yeah, and then also too, what's interesting to note is as soon as Dorsey was testifying in front of the House Intel Committee, stocks dropped. So, and it wasn't just his company; it was a lot of tech companies, Google, Facebook, Twitter. They had lost. Their stock prices lost considerable value. Taking a quick look at it, it looks like it may be some millions for Dorsey. So I'm not 100% sure. I have to do a little bit more math on that one. But yeah. So there's a lot of stuff today that we're going to be kind of weeding out and looking at. Okay, what are our top 5 for our 5 and 5? So I hope you kind of stick with us, and I hope y'all like this. Let us know if this is something that adds value to your day, and if it's not, let us know too. It's not going to hurt our feelings. I really do like the walk and talk because I get to get outside, and I'm already doing it anyway, so it's kind of fun to take people along with us and to kind of share a little bit of our neighborhood and kind of what's pinging around in our brain. But anyway, so this is another piece that is part of the Powwow art project. It's called Powwow Hawaii. This is a pavilion in our area where they hold all kinds of different Saturday morning market things, like craft fairs and stuff like that. It's not as crafty though. It's more of like Hawaiian products kind of a thing. And this area is really pretty. You can kind of see blue skies, or you can totally see blue skies, not kinda, peeking through the buildings. And so looking straight down this area. Sorry. Okay, so looking straight down this area, if you go all the way down to the horizon line that you're seeing, that's going to be the ocean. That's going to be access to the ocean, which is really cool. Oh, hey, Terry. Hi, thanks. Yeah, it is nice art. It's a lot of really cool stuff through here. And I know that I'm not necessarily doing it justice by kind of zipping past it, but I do try to, help show that and share that with y'all, because it is really pretty. And we are very fortunate to live where we are, one of those many blessings that we keep counting. So, folks, I hope you guys have a good rest of your day. And again, let us know what you think. So, take care, and until we meet again, ohui ho akuno.